How's it going, everyone? It's Foxy here for another pickup video. Now, except for one thing, everything that I'm going to be showing you guys was from a Goodwill. So I don't know if I'm going to be labeling this as its own thing, like Goodwill game hunting, or if it's just going to be like the Foxxy's Flea Market pickups / Goodwill special. I don't know yet, and I also don't know if this is going to be like a two-part thing, because I have quite a bit of stuff and I don't really want to make this like a 20 or 30 minute video, so we'll see how it goes. And if it's too long, I might just splice it somewhere and then upload it as its own separate thing, just so it's not like you're watching 30 minutes of me rambling on about games. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we got is a slim PS2. I actually got two of these, one for my dad, because his silver slim one broke, which he didn't even really play ever, so I don't really know why it broke. And then I got one for myself because the first PS2 I had broke, and I had that thing for a while, and it's been through a lot of just abuse. The second one, for some reason, I still have it, but it doesn't read Blue Disc games, and that's why I have this. It does read Blue Discs, but I don't even really know why I even bought it, considering I have a PS3 that plays PS2 games. I guess mostly because the PS2 has a lot of memories for me, and it's just like a nostalgia thing. I don't know. Neither of which came with like controllers or memory cards, but they did come with the AV cables and the connections, which is nice. I mean, I would have liked a couple memory cards and controllers, but I'm not going to complain since I have plenty of them. Next we got, what do we have here? Let's do the thing that I didn't get at the Goodwill. I got this at the flea market. It is Bad Boys Miami Takedown. It's notorious for being like one of the worst games on the PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube generation of systems. I think it ranked like 4th worst on Game Trailer's top 10 worst games. So I'm very excited to play this, possibly to review, but I'm not going to promise anything. Next we got Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance. A game I had when I was younger. I liked it a lot. Don't know what happened to it. Either I lost it somewhere or it was sold, God knows why, because I did really like this game, but I'm happy that I picked it up again. Next we have Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 for the Game Boy Color. Don't know anything about it. I've heard of the series before plenty of times. I just don't really know anything about it. Other than that, it's an RPG, but come on. Next, we have the Simpson game for the PS2. It's a very good chance I'm going to be getting rid of this, because I didn't know that this is also for, like, the 360. I don't know if it's for PS2, but I did hear somewhere that it was on the 360. If that is correct, then I will sell this, because I'd rather get it for that system. But never played it. I don't think that's entirely true. I think I played it on a demo at some point. I just don't have any memory of it. Next is Star Fox Adventures. This is a game I hated as a kid because it wasn't an aerial combat type game. I had no idea going into it that it was going to be a third-person adventure, and that just completely ruined the entire thing for me, so I'm going to give it a second chance. You know, back then, kids are kids, you're stupid, so you're more biased when you're younger, I think, so I'm going to give it another chance. Might be fun. I've actually, out of like all the people that I know who have played this when I was younger, none of them really said that it was any good. I don't know if that's a bad sign or not. Next, we got Doom 3 for the Xbox. I never played a Doom game before, so it's going to be a new experience, and I love first-person shooters, and it's mostly why I got it. Next is Outlaw Golf. I played Outlaw Volleyball, and I love it. Yes, it's incredibly silly and stupid, but that's why I got Outlaw Golf, because I'm curious to see if it's as fun as the volleyball one. Here we have Saving Private Ryan. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Simple as that. That's why I got it. It is the limited special edition. Don't know what that means exactly. Special features. Don't care about that message from Steven Spielberg. I could give a shit less. Into the Breach. 2 theatrical trailers. Don't give a shit. Production notes. Cast and filmmaker bios. That I am interested in. Next. Oh, God. Here is Austin Powers Pinball. Why not? It was $1, you know? I like the movies. I actually did play this for a little while, and it wasn't that bad. Maybe I'll review it. Again, not making any promises. Star Wars Dark Forces. It's a first-person shooter where I guess you're... Well, it says here, join the Rebel Alliance's covert operations, division... infiltrate the Empire, blah, blah, blah. So I guess you're just like a normal soldier, unless I'm reading that wrong. I played like 20 minutes of it, and it seemed pretty good for what this game is supposed to be. Take that for what it's worth, and it's the custom PlayStation edition, whatever that means. Next, Star Wars Masters of Terra Rast, or Cast. I don't know if that's a K. It is a K. Kasi? I don't know what that's even supposed to be pronounced like. Whatever. It is a one-on-one arcade 3D fighting style game. I played it for about an hour. It was entertaining, but it was also very strange because it's like... It's like a shitty version of Street Fighter almost, except you have lightsabers and guns and stuff. It's something that I'll probably put up like a 5-minute gameplay of so you can see for yourself. It's very bizarre for Star Wars, in my opinion. We have Call of Duty World at War Final Fronts. Never played it, but it will serve great purpose in one of my graphical evolution videos. That, and if you aren't aware, it's completely different than the World at War game on PS3 and Xbox 360. Next, we got Bloodstone 007. I played this. I remember liking it. One of the better, more recent 007 games, like GoldenEye, the GoldenEye Reloaded, if that is the name of it, was terrible. I never played Legends, and Quantum of Solace was actually pretty damn good, too. Next up, we have NPPL Championship Paintball 2009 for the 360. I believe I played this, like, way back in the day. Probably 2009. I don't remember anything about it. Monster Jam for the PS2. A game I played as a kid. I still like it to this day. Not my favorite Monster Jam game out there, but it's still... For $2, that's what I paid for it. It's still pretty fun. Destruction Derby Arena. Another game I played as a kid, and I still like it to this day. Not as much as I used to, but it's still fun. It's what you would expect from a Destruction Derby type game. I actually prefer Flat Out's Destruction Derby mode compared to that game. It's, in my opinion, more fun. But I don't think people liked Flat Out that much. Might be wrong. Next, we got LA Rush. Another game I just know nothing about. I know I've said that like 3 or 4 times. It's just, I pick up these games out of like a mundane curiosity, and I picked up quite a few racers. Most of which I have not shown. It's from it features guys from West Coast Customs, which I believe is the same people that like Exhibit had on his Pimp My Ride show. I'm interested, but I'm not looking forward to it, if that makes any sense. Next, we got Test Drive Unlimited. My personal favorite test drive game is Eve of Destruction. I have not come across it one single goddamn time, and I'm waiting for it because that is one of my favorite racing games of all time. I've never played this one. It looks pretty damn good. It's really all I can say. It says on the back here, the most important leap in racing game design since Gran Turismo, which was a quote by Advanced Media Network. Never heard of them? Here we got Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Don't know anything about this game. It features the Dino 246 GTS, 365 GTS for Daytona, F50, 360 Spider, and numerous other cars. Looks fun. It's actually, the strangest thing to me is this is the most, I think the most valuable of all the racing games I have, besides the next one I'm about to show you. Which, believe it or not, I bought for brand new a week after the game came out. Why they had it at Goodwill, I have absolutely no idea. That is Forza Horizons 2. If you know me, I am a gigantic fan of the Forza games. I have yet to play this, which is funny because it is March 28th and I got this like the week after it came out, as I said. Take that for what it's worth. Next we got, okay, some of the bigger things. Travel Blockus. Alright, that made too much noise. I got Travel Blockus. It is my favorite board game of all time. Oh, not travel version, but just Blockus in general. My favorite board game. It's a lot of fun, challenging, and a lot of times it's like right where you think you're about to win, you end up losing in the end. Just kind of frustrating, but it's still an amazingly fun game. We got Tetris Lite. It's like a it's like a desk lamp sort of thing, except the only thing I really, really hate about it is that you can't secure them together like I don't know, for example, like a Lego. They just stack on top of each other loosely, and God forbid you knock over it, that whole thing is going to be spilling all over the place, and that's the only thing I really dislike about it. But it's pretty cool if you have the space for it to where you know you're not going to knock into it. Here we got You Build Monopoly. I haven't played this yet. I got it brand new, and if you don't believe me, it's sealed pieces. Even the money is sealed. The only thing I don't believe was originally sealed were these game board pieces. Other than that, everything is brand spanking new in here. I have no idea why they had that. Put this all back in here. I'm probably going to jump cut. Alright, so next, the second to last thing I have is the worst case scenario survival game. Very, very odd. I thought this might have been like an old board game. It's not really that old. It's like 2001 or... trying to find it here. Yeah, 2001. The premise is like you have a bunch of cards and you read. Okay, well let me just show you. How do you escape from killer bees? And then they would read off either you stand very still and quiet and breathe through your nose, B, jump into a body of water if you're near one, or C, run as fast as you can. And if you answer that correctly, then I guess you move again or something like that. The answer would be jump into water, by the way. And the final thing I got here is Nickelodeon Seen It. A lot of shows from when I was a kid, so I'm very excited to play this. I did actually, me and my fiance were reading off some of the trivia cards to each other, and it was like, we got 9 out of 10 of them correct. Like, the only ones we couldn't get were the shows like Victorious and Zoe 101, because we didn't watch that, and to be honest with you, I didn't really know anyone who did. But it was all in there, all brand new. The disc, or it wasn't brand new, but it's like in mint shape, all the pieces and everything. Even the disc, which surprisingly, I've checked this before, like at Goodwill's. Every single one of these Seen It games, outside of this one I showed you, seems to either not have the disc, the DVD, or it's totally just destroyed to fuck. So it was very, very surprising to me that the one Seen It game I really wanted happened to be in fantastic condition. So that's it for this edition of Foxy's Flea Market Pickups, even though this is the Goodwill edition. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you take care.